Welcome. Today we're going to discuss the practice of tearing one's garments, what we call tearing Kriah, upon seeing the cities of Yehuda, Yerushalayim, and the Beit HaMikdash in ruin. Let's begin with the source of tearing Kriah in general. After the deaths of Nadav and Avihu, Moshe Rabbeinu instructs Aaron HaKohen, as well as his remaining sons, Elazar and Itamar, not to refrain from getting haircuts and not to tear their garments. Rather, the nation would mourn instead. The Gemara teaches us that this was an exception, and Avelim, mourners, are to refrain from cutting their hair and are required to tear Kriah. The Bright and Moed Katan teaches that there are a number of other situations in which we should tear Kriah. The Brighta states, Ve'elu karayin she'ein menachim, and these torn garments may not be sewed up. Hakarei al aviv va'al imo, v'al rabo shelimdo Torah, v'al nasi v'al av beitin. One who tears for the deaths of his father or mother, his rebbe, for the nasi, or for the head of the beitin. V'al shemuot haraot, v'al birkat Hashem, v'al sefer Torah shenisraf. On hearing terrible news, or the cursing of God's name, or when a Torah has been burnt. And then the Braita continues, V'al Ara Yehuda, V'al HaMikdash, V'al Yerushalayim. Upon seeing in ruin the cities of Judah, the temple, and Jerusalem. Based on this Braita, the Shulchan Aruch requires that we tear Kriah when visiting any of these places. But the Shulchan Aruch says we only have to do so if we have not been there within 30 days. The question is raised, with the establishment of Medinat Yisrael, and with the establishment of Jewish control over these places, is it still necessary to tear Kriah when visiting them? Are they still considered b'churban? First, when it comes to Ara Yehuda, there is a machloket as to what the definition of churban is, and therefore whether we tear. Do we tear because we are mourning the holiness that departed from these cities when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed? If so, we should still tear Kriah today. Or is the reason we tore Kriah because we were not in control of these cities, in which case we would not tear today when visiting those Ara Yehuda that are Baruch Hashem under Jewish control. Most poskim hold that since today these cities are under Jewish control, we do not tear Kriah upon seeing them for the first time in 30 days. What about Yerushalayim? Well, a machloket exists there as well. Rav Yosef Dov Soloveitchik viewed tearing over Yerushalayim as dependent upon the existence of the Beit HaMikdash. He holds that Yerushalayim is still b'churban until a Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt. Therefore, we would be required to tear Kriah when visiting Yerushalayim for the first time in 30 days. Others, such as Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, suggest that perhaps Yerushalayim is still considered b'churban since it is questionable whether we fully control Yerushalayim. However, many other poskim, such as Rav Moshe Feinstein, disagree. They hold that whether Yerushalayim is considered b'churban depends exclusively on whether it is under Jewish control. They also hold that Yerushalayim is indeed considered under Jewish control. Consequently, we would not tear Kriah upon visiting Yerushalayim. What about when we are near the area of the Beit HaMikdash? What about when we come to daven at the Kotel? Do we care whether this area is under Jewish control, or do we say, since the Beit HaMikdash has not been rebuilt, we have to tear Kriah? For this question, the overwhelming opinion is that we do have to tear Kriah until Be'ezrat Hashem, the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt. Just two more quick points. There are those who have the custom not to tear Kriah if they visit the Kotel on Erev Shabbos after Chatzot. Rav Moshe Feinstein says that he finds no basis for this custom, but he says that if indeed there is such a custom, it may be followed. Also, Rav Moshe says that if one visited the Kotel but did not tear Kriah either because they forgot or they visited at a time when they could not tear, then one does not have to tear Kriah later to make it up. So let's review. We learned from Aaron and his sons that we tear Kriah when the death of a close relative occurs. From the Braita we learn that we tear Kriah upon seeing the cities of Judea, Jerusalem, and the site of the Beit HaMikdash in ruin. Furthermore, we only tear if we have not visited within 30 days. Today, we do not tear Kriah for the Ara Yehuda that are under Jewish control. Most don't tear for Yerushalayim either. However, we do tear upon seeing the Makom HaMikdash. Some don't tear on Erev Shabbos after Chatzot. Finally, we don't have to make it up if we forgot to tear, or if when we visited we were unable or not allowed to tear. May the practice of tearing Kriah for our holy sites become obsolete soon.